In this meeting, I will lead you to a deep clarity about who you truly are, beyond the image others carry of you, in just a few minutes of silent reflection. Living as a hostage to old versions of yourself is like walking in a desert carrying the weight of stones that no longer belong to you. If we don't let go of these images now, the present will continue to be nothing more than an echo of the past. I speak to you not only as someone who studies the soul, but as a multi-artist who, for over 40 years, has sought the keys to translate the invisible through music and philosophy. You may think your personality is your immutable essence, but we will demystify this idea. What we call the self is often just a defense mechanism protecting your true light. At the end, I will propose a 3-minute exercise of silent observation regarding the marks you have received and the ones you leave in the world, focusing only on the learning that blossoms from these exchanges. Perhaps you feel, in the silence of your home, a restlessness you cannot name, a feeling that the life you display on the outside does not translate the vastness pulsing within. In the African philosophy of Mogobe Ramose, we learn that the human being is not a static entity, but a constant flow. I am because we are is not just about community, but about how our identity is a dance between what we were, what is projected onto us, and the mystery that sustains us. Today, I invite you to silence the noise of expectations and enter the cave of introspection to discover who remains when all the masks fall. There is a fascinating paradox in our existence. We are the protagonists of our story, but we do not own the complete version of it. Think of the people who passed through your life 10, 20 years ago. To an old schoolmate or a stranger you exchanged a glance with on the subway, you are still that person from that specific moment. In those minds, you are frozen in a laugh, a word, or a mistake that you yourself have already forgotten. As the wisdom of Ubuntu teaches, our humanity is woven through others, but this creates what we might call the invisible life of the image. These fragmented versions of us inhabit the world like ghosts. Recognizing this should not bring us anguish, but rather a profound liberation. If we have no control over how others keep us in their memories, why waste so much energy trying to polish someone else's mirror? When we accept that we are multiple and that the self is a narrative in constant construction, we stop struggling to be consistent with the past. The soul is in no rush to define itself. It moves with the rhythm of the seasons. The invitation here is to let go of the need to be understood by everyone. After all, as the metaphor goes, the river does not worry about the shape the banks make of it. It simply flows toward the sea. But for this flow toward the sea to happen, we need to look at the stones we placed in the path. Often, to survive the images others created of us, we built an inner fortress that today we mistake for our own skin. Often, we present an essence to the world that, under closer inspection, reveals itself as a construct architected for survival. In Mogobe Ramose philosophy, being is a constant becoming, but trauma and pain tend to paralyze us into rigid forms. What you call your strong personality, or your incurable shyness, may actually be a scar that has learned to speak. Analyze how your brain, in a loving attempt to protect you from past pain, built walls that today you call me. It is a necessary provocation. What remains when these defenses fall? If you let go of the shield of arrogance or the spear of self-criticism, who is the being that inhabits the center of this fertile void? Remember, you are not broken. You are in transformation. Healing begins where you stop fighting what you feel and recognize that the armor, though useful in the past, now prevents your soul from breathing the air of the present. This armor, though rigid, is made of fragments of who we were. And curiously, we try to keep these pieces alive through memories and images, as if we could freeze time in a frame, without realizing that every portrait is actually a farewell to someone who no longer lives within us. Every visual record, every memory of who we were 10 years ago, is proof of a self that has permanently died. There is a melancholy beauty in this. In African spiritual traditions, ancestry is not just about those who came before us, but about the versions of ourselves that have already become ancestors. Honoring who you were is an act of gratitude, but trying to relive that person is an act of violence against your current fluidity. We need to practice conscious grief for our old versions to allow consciousness to flow in the now. The soul is in no hurry. It has rhythm. If you cling to the image of who you were before a loss or a great change, you become a prisoner in your own private museum. Letting go is like opening your hands from an invisible knot that bound the heart. Allow yourself to die while alive, so that the new can flourish in the fertile darkness of your inner silence. By letting go of these dead versions, we discover that our perception was never about what is outside, but about how the mystery is processed inside. We then enter the understanding that the world we see is merely a translation of the light our soul is capable of filtering. Contemporary science and ancient wisdom converge at a fascinating point. The world you see is a translation, not raw reality. Your brain edits colors, sounds, and meanings in real time, creating a private simulation within the dark box of the skull. As Ubuntu thought teaches, we perceive the world through the lenses of our culture, our pains, and our connections. This limited perception should not scare us, but free us from the arrogance of the ego. If we do not see the absolute truth, we can open ourselves to the mystery with humility. The void is not absence. It is the womb of the invisible where all possibilities of being have not yet collapsed. When you understand that your vision is only a fragment, the need to be right dissolves, giving way to a much deeper and more compassionate listening of the soul. This listening reveals to us that the miracle is not in seeing new things, but in seeing with new eyes. The problem is that, in the rush of the ego, our vision only becomes clear when we look back, recognizing the sacred only by the trail it left in our soul. There is an almost tragic human tendency to only recognize the sacred once it has already become a memory. We reflect on the most important moments of life usually through the rearview mirror, making them divine only by distance. Why does the now seem so ordinary, while yesterday shines with a light we didn't see at the time? This is an urgent call to real presence. The universe listens to you when you learn to listen to yourself. Don't wait for the moment to become a longing before you realize the miracle it is to breathe with awareness today. Like a musician who feels the note even before playing it, I invite you to develop discernment in the now. Life is not a straight ladder. It is a river that meanders to teach us the softness of surrender. We reach the point where silence ceases to be absence and becomes a vibrant presence. As we walk the trails of our own image, of the armor we call personality, and the necessary grief for our old versions, we realize that life is not a destination to be reached, but a dance of constant rebirths. As Ubuntu wisdom teaches us, our individual healing is, in fact, a seed of healing for the whole. What if the pain you feel today is actually the portal to the life you've always sought? What if the marks others left on you, and the ones you leave on them, are the invisible threads weaving the tapestry of the sacred? The soul is in no hurry. It has rhythm. At this moment, I invite you to a small pause for self-knowledge. Do not close your eyes if you do not wish to. Simply turn your gaze inward. Observe, without judgment, the marks people have left on your journey, the lessons, the pains that became teachers, and the affections that shaped who you are today. Now, feel the responsibility and the beauty of knowing that you are also leaving marks on those who cross your path. Fix your attention only on the good lessons that blossomed from these exchanges. Breathe deeply, recognizing that you are a continuous flow of transformation. The universe listens to you when you learn to listen to yourself. If you felt touched by these words, I invite you to take the next step in this journey of self-discovery. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to nourish this newly lit flame and continue walking with us on the same frequency of spirituality and awakening of consciousness. Leave your experience in the comments. Your sharing is also a seed of healing for other hearts. If you are looking for a safe harbor, Know that our community is the sanctuary where fertile silence is shared and deepened. Enjoy the posts on the channel. And to continue expanding this field of presence, we suggest the video pinned in the card. May it be a source of inspiration on your journey. Peace and light.